Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, born Temujin 1162 25 August 1227, also Genghis Khan, was the founder and first Khan of the Mongol Empire, which he ruled from 1206 until his death in 1227. It later became the largest contiguous empire in history. After spending most of his life uniting the Mongol tribes, he launched a series of military campaigns, conquering large parts of China and Central Asia. Born between 1155 and 1167, and given the name Temujin, he was the oldest child of Yesugei, a Mongol chieftain of the Borjigin clan, and his wife Hoilon. When Temujin was 8, his father died and his family was abandoned by its tribe and reduced to near poverty. They managed to survive, although Temujin killed his half-brother Beta to secure his position. As he grew to manhood, he began to gain followers, and he made alliances with two prominent steppe leaders named Jamukha and Togrul. They worked together to retrieve Temujin's kidnapped wife Borti. As his reputation grew, his relationship with Jamukha deteriorated into open warfare. Temujin was decisively defeated in c. 1187, possibly spending the following years as a subject of the Jin dynasty. Upon re-emerging in 1196, he swiftly began gaining power. Togrul came to view Temujin as a threat and launched a surprise attack on him in 1203. Temujin retreated, then regrouped and overpowered Togrul. After defeating the Nayman tribe and executing Jamukha, he was left as the sole ruler in the Mongolian steppe. Temujin formally adopted the title Genghis Khan, the meaning of which is uncertain, at an assembly in 1206. Carrying out reforms designed to ensure long-term stability, he then transformed the Mongols' tribal structure into an integrated meritocracy dedicated to the service of the ruling family. After thwarting a coup attempt from a powerful shaman, Genghis began to consolidate his power. In 1209, he led a large-scale raid into the neighboring Western Jaya, who agreed to Mongol terms the following year. He then launched a campaign against the Jin dynasty, which lasted for 4 years and ended in 1215 with the capture of the Jin capital Zhongdu. His general Jebe annexed the Central Asian state of Karakatai in 1218. Genghis was provoked to invade the Khwarezmian Empire the following year. Following the execution of his envoys, the campaign toppled the Khwarezmian state and devastated the regions of Transoxiana and Khorasan, while Jebe and his colleague Subutai led an expedition that reached Georgia and Kievan Rus. In 1227, Genghis died while subduing the rebellious Western Jaya. Following a 2-year interregnum, Genghis's third son and heir Ogedei acceded to the throne in 1229. Genghis Khan remains a controversial figure. He was generous and intensely loyal to his followers, but ruthless towards his enemies. He welcomed advice from diverse sources in his quest for world domination, for which he believed the shamanic supreme deity Tengri had destined him. The Mongol army under Genghis killed millions of people, but his conquests also facilitated heightened commercial and cultural exchange over an unprecedented geographical area. He is remembered as a backwards, savage tyrant in Russia and the Muslim world, while his legacy has undergone considerable reassessment in recent Western scholarship. He was posthumously deified in Mongolia. Modern Mongolians recognize him as the founding father of their nation. Early life, birth and childhood. The year of Temujin's birth is disputed, as historians favored different dates: 1155, 1162 or 1167. Some traditions place his birth in the year of the pig, which was either 1155 or 1167. While a dating to 1155 is supported by the writings of both Xiao Hong and Rashid al-Din, other major sources such as the History of Yuan and the Shangwu favor the year 1162. The 1167 dating, favored by Paul Pelliot, is derived from a minor source, a text of the Yuan artist Yang Weizhen, but is more compatible with the events of Genghis Khan's life than a 1155 placement, which implies that he did not have children until after the age of 30 and continued actively campaigning into his 7th decade. 1162 remains the most accepted date. The historian Paul Rachnevsky notes that Temujin himself may not have known the truth. The location of Temujin's birth is similarly debated. The secret history records his birthplace as Delu in Boldog on the Onon River, but this has been placed at either Dadal in Khenti province or in southern Ajin Buryat Okrug, Russia. Temujin was born into the Borjigin clan of the Mongol tribe Si to Yesugei, a chieftain who claimed descent from the legendary warlord Bodnchar Munkag and his principal wife Ho-Ilun, originally of the Olkunud clan, whom Yesugei had abducted from her Merkit bridegroom Chalidu. The origin of his birth name is contested. The earliest traditions hold that his father had just returned from a successful campaign against the Tatars with a captive named Temujin Yuji, after whom he named the newborn in celebration of his victory, while later traditions highlight the root Tema meaning iron and connect to theories that Temujin means blacksmith. Several legends surround Temujin's birth. The most prominent is that of a blood clot he clutched in his hand as he was born, a motif in Asian folklore which indicated the child would be a warrior. Others claimed that Ho-Ilun was impregnated by a ray of light which announced the child's destiny, a legend which echoed that of the mythical Borjigin ancestor Alan Gua. Yesugei and Ho-Ilun had 3 younger sons after Temujin Kusar, Hakyun, and Temuj, as well as one daughter, Temulin. Temujin also had 2 half-brothers, Beta and Belgite, from Yesugei's second wife Sochigil, whose identity is uncertain. The siblings grew up at Yesugei's main camp on the banks of the Onon, where they learned how to ride a horse and shoot a bow. When Temujin was 8 years old, Yesugei decided to betroth him to a suitable girl. He took his heir to the pastures of Ho-Ilun's prestigious Ongjurat tribe, which had intermarried with the Mongols on many previous occasions. There he arranged a betrothal between Temujin and Borte, the daughter of an Ongjurat chieftain named Dei Sekinru. As the betrothal meant Yesugei would gain a powerful ally, and as Bort commanded a high bride price, Dei Sekin held the stronger negotiating position and demanded that Temujin remain in his household to work off his future debt. Accepting this condition, Yesugei requested a meal from a band of Tatars he encountered while riding homewards alone, relying on the steppe tradition of hospitality to strangers. However, the Tatars recognized their old enemy and slipped poison into his food. Yesugei gradually sickened but managed to return home close to death. He requested a trusted retainer called Munglig to retrieve Temujin from the Ongjurat. He died soon after. Adolescence. Yesugei's death shattered the unity of his people, which included members of the Borjigin, Taichud, and other clans. As Temujin was only around 10, and Beta around 2 years older, neither was considered old enough to rule. The Taichud faction excluded Ho-Ilun from the ancestor worship ceremonies which followed a ruler's death, and soon abandoned her camp. The secret history relates that the entire Borjigin clan followed, despite Ho-Ilun's attempts to shame them into staying by appealing to their honor. Rashid al-Din and the Shenggu, however, imply that Yesugei's brothers stood by the widow. It is possible that Ho-Ilun may have refused to join in levirate marriage with one, resulting in later tensions, or that the author of the secret history dramatized the situation. All the sources agree that most of Yesugei's people renounced his family in favor of the Taichuds, and that Ho-Ilun's family were reduced to a much harsher life. Taking up a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, they collected roots and nuts, hunted for small animals, and caught fish. Tensions developed as the children grew older. Both Temujin and Beta had claims to be their father's heir, although Temujin was the child of Yesugei's chief wife. Beta was at least 2 years his senior. There was even the possibility that, as permitted under levirate law, Beta could marry Ho-Ilun upon attaining his majority and become Temujin's stepfather. As the friction, exacerbated by frequent disputes over the division of hunting spoils, intensified, Temujin and his younger brother Khazar ambushed and killed Beta. This taboo act was omitted from the official chronicles but not from the secret history, which recounts that Ho-Ilun angrily reprimanded her sons. Beta's younger full brother Belgite did not seek vengeance, and became one of Temujin's highest-ranking followers alongside Khazar. Around this time, Temujin developed a close friendship with Jamuka, another boy of aristocratic descent. The secret history notes that they exchanged knucklebones and arrows as gifts and swore the Andapact, the traditional oath of Mongol blood brothers, at the age of 11. As the family lacked allies, Temujin was taken prisoner on multiple occasions. Captured by the Taichuds, he escaped during a feast and hid first in the Onon and then in the tent of Sorkhan Shira, a man who had seen him in the river and not raised the alarm. Sorkhan Shira sheltered Temujin for 3 days at great personal risk before allowing him to escape. Temujin was assisted on another occasion by an adolescent named Bo Orchu, who aided him in retrieving stolen horses. Soon afterwards, Bo Orchu joined Temujin's camp as his first no-call personal companion PL. Nokod. These incidents, related by the secret history, are indicative of the emphasis its author put on Genghis' personal charisma,